Welcome back to another fabulous favorite channel. I'm Jay from Jay Books Corner, and today we're talking about my June TBR or Pride Month TBR. There's gay stuff on here, but it's not gay centric like I tend to make my Junes. Mostly because I have a lot of catch up to do and a lot of other stuff to get done, and that requires me to read a bunch of books. This is a 30 book TBR. I like to mention, and we'll talk about more as we get further, that a part of that is a lot of novella reading for the Shadowhunter world, and that does take up like a lot of the spots in here. There's like 12 or 13 novellas I'm hoping to read this month. So let's go ahead and jump into it. And we're going to do it by video because almost all books that I read tend to connect to a video because I'm really excited to talk to them about you or talk about them with you. Not everything does. I'd also like to mention we're not going over 30 books today because there's some books on my TBR that I have no idea what they're about, and it would just be me showing you a cover, and that wouldn't be as interesting, whereas other ones I know more about. Starting with the 5-book series that I do on this channel. This month we're doing 5 books people I love, and let's go through them. I won't tell you who the person recommended it to. You'll find that out in the actual video when it goes up, but let's go ahead and get started. We have Evil Geniuses by Catherine Jinks. This was recommended to me by a very close person of mine, and I'm excited to read it and figure out why they love it. And I think books can really show you a person's soul, really get to know them on like a more deeper and personal level. I'm excited to figure out. I already know a few like keywords, tag words for this one, such as villains and things that really do signify that person in my life. So I'm excited to see it in that video. Like I said, then we have Heidi. I don't know who wrote Heidi, but I don't have authors. It's fine. There'll be a cover. We have Heidi. I'm nervous. I'm not a big fan of classics. I don't really like Heidi as much. There is so many adaptations. I'm curious. I'm interested, and we will experience it together. We have No Child of Mine, which I'm very excited to read. This has been on my TBR for a long time due to this person. I'm happy that I'm making this video to finally get to read it, really understand the love they have for this product. So I'm very excited for it. Then we have Fable. This was one of the last ones added into the list from a very close friend of mine. I'm really curious why they recommended it to me. I specifically asked everybody to recommend a book I've never read before that they love so I can read it. This was they gave it, and I'm so curious about it. And lastly, we have November 9 by Colleen Hoover. We will see how that goes. I love the person who recommended it to me, and I can understand why they recommended it to me, but me and Colleen don't have the best of friends. Honestly, I broke up my relationship with Colleen, but I guess we're back. Always have a rebound, right? The next one is I have a first time reading series, and I have 2 books going up against one another, and I think I'm going to film both, and whichever one I like better, I'll post this month, and maybe I'll post the next one next month. That being said, here we have Nothing to See Here by somebody. This is important because it's all about the author, and I don't know the author's name, so I'm sorry. This is about kids who instantly combust. It's been my TBR since like March, and so I'm really looking forward to reading it, and I think it could be a really interesting discovery of why the author decided to write it and a little more information back on the author that could help me reflect into the story. So we'll see about that one. We also have The Writing Retreat by Julia something. This is obviously one of my most anticipated books of the year. The only issue here is it is a debut, and so I've had a hard time trying to figure out the reasons why The Writing Retreat was the debut. That could be the reason why it doesn't end up getting chosen, because I don't have enough information about the author. I might have to choose a future book. Well, I don't know. This is your only shot. This just happens to be your debut. The next one is I have 2 books I need to read for my 5-star prediction series to see if they're 5 stars. So let's get into those. We have The Last Word by Taylor Adams. This is really interesting to me. I'm going to do it for this video. I wish I wouldn't have, but I have another book I need to read for Taylor Adams, and then we're going to do a similar video I did like Taylor Jenkins Reid and stuff, where I'm talking about their entire backlog as well. That should be coming out probably October or so this year, and so I'll talk about it again there. We have a whole video centered on this one. This is about, it reminds me a lot of Misery, I guess it's a way. An author who ends up not finishing a series the way they wanted or something along those lines, and so they end up becoming obsessed with the author, and it's like crazy fan and stuff. I'm looking forward to it. Me and Taylor Adams have a good track record, but I've never read anything as good as No Exit from him, and so I'm curious to see if this one is the next best thing. And then we have The Salt Grows Heavy by Cassandra Claw. This is her short story about mermaids and sirens, I'm pretty sure. I think it's about sirens. I'm so looking forward to it. I'll read it immediately. Don't get me started. I have a feeling this is probably the one you're going to see first, though. It's much shorter than the other one, so I feel like I could probably read it faster and get up to you guys faster, so I'm really excited for it, though. The next section is reviews. Reviews are videos that I'm thinking of making into their own specific video, talking about a book and or a series, and let me know if you want me to move forward with either of these, and I'll tell you like what the plan is. Let's go ahead and jump into it. The first one being, finally got the audiobook for Hellbent, so now I can reread Ninth House. So it's Ninth House by Lee Verdugo and Hellbent, which I'm very looking forward to. This obviously is the Alex Stern series, or trilogy now, because it's now 3 books. I've heard nothing but amazing things about Hellbent, and I've been wanting to read Ninth House since I read it the first time. I will mention I don't plan on reviewing Ninth House in that video. I'm just doing it for extra credit work, but Hellbent will be a non-spoiler review if I end up making it into its own video. Let me know if that's something you're interested in. If I don't make it into its own video, I definitely will make it into its own TikTok. Just let me know. And then we have Broken Perfect Vibes by Kate Weismer. I'm like 40% into this. I really just need to finish it and sit down and film that like vlog, and so that's the plan this month as well. Then we have 2 RF Kwongs on this list. So we have Babel, which I'm really Babel, I can't remember, an oral history of Oxford. I'm really looking forward to, and I do plan on doing an entire non-spoiler review of my opinion on it and why I have a feeling it's gonna be so good. But I also want to do the same thing for Yellowface, which just came out as well, and I don't know which one I'm gonna read first. So whichever one I read first, you'll probably see first. I think both books are so important, and the messages and stuff that they're telling are so important, and I already know R.F. Kwon can write them to their beautifulness, and I can't wait to recommend them a billion times. Just need to sit down to actually read them. Babel is a very big book and it scares me. Yellowface, I feel like it will be much more easier to consume. I know, I'm both looking forward to both of them. Let me know which one you would prefer a non-spoiler review for. Let me know if that's interesting, if that's something that interests you. I know a lot of people did Babel when it came out, and so maybe you're more looking forward to my opinion about Yellowface instead, and I can just wrap up Babel in my wrap-up. Both are perfectly fine for me. Just let me know in the comments. Do you think I should do a video where I'm reading both? Like where I read both Babel and Yellowface together? Let me know. I can do that too. Well, actually, the next one is its own one-off video, and that's Daisy Jones and the Six. That series has been over for a while now, the Prime Video one. Me and my mom have 2 more episodes, and then we're done with it. And then I'm going to reread the entire book, and I'm going to do a comparison video for the people who care. So that's definitely coming. I just don't have a time when I'm going to do that yet, but it's on my TBR to read this month. And then I'm going to close out what is that? I'm going to pull up the cover. It's called The King's Man. I've been reading these off and on for the past like 3 or 4 years, which is crazy because they've been out for so much longer. And I didn't binge read them. And so I need to finish the 3rd one. It's so long though, so that's why I've been pushing it off. I also heard it's the most controversial one out of the entire group, which is so shocking to me because the 2nd one went such in a dark place I wasn't expecting that like I'm curious to see where this one goes. If you have any familiar with this series whatsoever, I can't think what it's called though. I'm excited though to finish it, to complete it, and to be done with it. So it can stop laying on my mind. The next one we have is the Mindfuck series. I think I'm just gonna put the first book cover on the screen for you guys. This is a 4 to 5 book series, I'm pretty sure, about a woman getting revenge for horrible things that have happened to her. They're all very short. It's like 100 pages a piece. And I was thinking about reading it all in 24 hours, if that's something you're interested in. If you're not, then I'll read it on my own and I'll just review them. I might definitely talk about them over on TikTok for sure. These are extreme taboo novels. They deal with extremely graphic content that a lot of people don't want to sit through. They're very dark romances, and I think it could be like a really fun experience. And I do think I could probably read them all in a weekend or sitting or whatever. So if that's interesting, let me know in the comments down below. All right, now let's talk about Wings of Fire. We have The Hidden Kingdom. I'm hoping to read The Hidden Kingdom. This is book number 3, so book 3, 4, and 5 this month. We will see if that ends up happening. I do need to prioritize it because my sister cannot stop talking and asking me about it. I'll let you know when I do. Now let's talk about Shadowhunters. So the reason why I'm doing this big read for Shadowhunters is because I am about to start The Beautifulness of Chain of Thorns. I've not read it yet, about to, and I'm very excited. Chain of Thorns closes out 2 vlogs for Shadowhunters on my channel that are coming to you relatively soon. We have the Chain of Thorns vlog, the actual like spoiler review, which I'm very excited to film and talk about all the good details about this book in so much spoilery fashion. But I'm also doing a reread timeline video for Shadowhunters. I read it the first time in publication order, and so I'm rereading it in timeline order to see if anything, like especially in the last hours or anything like that, makes me enjoy the series better based on a timeline that Cassandra Clare has released on her website, or the Shadowhunter website. This is the last book that takes place in this period of time before I believe the Mortal Instruments truly begins, or the importance stuff of Mortal Instruments. That video will be done as well, and I've been filming that for, I don't know, 4 months, 5 months now. So this is a big book for a lot of different reasons, but with that being said, when I finish this, I have a strong feeling I'm going to want to jump directly in and read a bunch of novellas, as that's what happened the last time I finished the Infernal Devices. I wanted to read all the novellas to start Chain of Gold as soon as possible. I read them really fast too, like in 24 hours, so I would expect the same here. Those novellas, however, do cross over between 3 different books. I couldn't tell you what they are off the top of my head, but I'll be reviewing them individually on Goodreads because that's how I'm reading them. I'm reading them individually, not as a combined up. That's the only reason why. So we have The Bane Chronicles, Tales of Shadowhunter Academy, and Ghosts of the Shadow Market. I'll talk about all the novellas individually, timelining in that video when I start the next video, which will be overarching the entire Mortal Instruments and all of their novellas and their one-offs. That video is going to be super duper long, by the way. It's the longest series of them all, and there's even like there's so many different components to that. So that video will come out much later on because there's so many books. But that also means I don't know by the time I reach the final one, which is in the Ghost Shadow Market, it's like one of the first novellas in there, that I might just want to go ahead and start reading City of Bones immediately after that, which is highly possible. I won't lie to you. It might be almost too tempting to not to do. So I might read City of Bones as well, and so it's on this list because of that reason as well. But and that's all the books I plan on reading in June. I say that so calmly and casually. Either way, I'm really looking forward to reading all these things. Everything on my list, on my TBR, are books that I'm looking forward to and that I truly want to read and I really want to spend time on. I'm also really behind on my reading goal. I'll talk about that in the mid-year freakout tag, which go up about mid-month as well. We are mid-month or beginning of July. I don't know exactly where I'm going to post it, but we'll talk about it there. I'm not exactly where I want to be with my goals for reading this year, and so I really want to put reading on the forefront as well as writing this month. Please let me know what you guys are most excited to read this month if you guys have a TBR. I personally wanted a TBR to feel a little more focused on the reading. Is there anything in this list that you think I should read immediately? Let me know in the comments down below. I definitely say my most anticipated ones are either Chain of Thorns or Hellbent. I'm looking forward to both those ones pretty equally. Also, my 5-star prediction points, obviously, because they're 5-star predictions. But with that being said, I'll talk to you guys all next time. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.